Easy times. Where are you based out of?
Hey everybody, it's Will, and I'm back with another episode of Creators Outlet. Today, our special guest is Steve. Better say your last name. I'm going to mess it up again.
Urena, Steve Urena.
Okay, good. I look at it and I just want to say Uranus for some reason. I don't know why.
Everybody does. I've heard it my whole life. I've been called Steve Uranus, Steve Urethra, Steve You're an asshole. So I've heard it all.
Well, tonight, before we get into everything, I just want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, SpinWiz Comics at spinwizcomics.com. If you don't know already, now you know. It is a web and indie comic discovery platform. It is free to download on iOS and Android for the app on your phone, and it's filled with free-to-read independent comics and web comics. What's better than free? Especially in 2020, what's better than free? Download the app, give it a 5-star review for us. We're trying to get them up to 100 downloads and 100 5-star reviews by the end of the month. There are over 86 independent publishers and over 400 titles to read, and there's add-ons every single week. Go check them out for yourself. SpinWiz Comics at spinwizcomics.com, and here's what it could look like on your smartphone. And now, back to the program. So, Steve, is this your first comic property?
Yes, this is my first original comic property. I did write a comic years ago about John Wayne, but that was more of like a biography comic, and I wasn't really too happy with the results. So Slowpokes is my first original comic story about sloths becoming fast and going absolutely crazy.
And apparently they love ice cream.
Yes, they love ice cream.
I could be a sloth.
There you go. Listen, who doesn't love ice cream? What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Yes.
Yes, to all of it?
Yeah. I had to go on once I became disabled, I had to go on like a super strict diet like 6 months after being home because I was like up to 600 pounds.
Wow.
Most of which was all ice cream weight. I'm down to 389 now.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
So, and still losing because all I get to drink is like water and coffee and have like 3 mini meals a day.
Gotcha.
What I wouldn't give to go out to IHOP and have like a lumberjack drowned in syrup right now.
That would be good. I miss IHOP too. I mean, that's the hardest part about this quarantine is not being able to go out to your favorite restaurants anymore. But definitely, I've definitely had some IHOP moments back in college, like 3 a.m, getting eggs and bacon and pancakes and just eating it all.
Yeah, well, there's no place else to go at 3 a.m. So
yeah, exactly.
So, tell us how you thought that making your own comic was a good idea.
So I took classes with Comics Experience run by Andy Schmidt and Paul Aller. Mm-hmm. And I workshopped Slowpokes in the class, in the one-shot class, and it got good reviews, despite it being a comic where sloths become fast and kill everybody. So I thought, you know what? If it got good reviews in here, I got to share this with the world. Why not? And I had that itch to get it done, and they paired me up with some artists, Juan Romera and Sean Reinhart as the letterer, and here we are. And it's coming along pretty good, so I'm pretty excited to share it with the world next week.
Yeah, it looks like it did pretty well. How long did it take you to reach your goal?
It took 2 days to reach my goal, which was absolutely crazy because I've never done this before, and for people to give me the trust to buy it and my goals is absolutely extraordinary. So it took 2 days for me. I did a lot of interviews and hyping things up on Instagram and Twitter, and luckily that's helped out.
Well, it helped that you did it at the right time of the year.
Yes, Halloween has definitely helped. This was originally supposed to come out in June, but because of COVID and everything that's been happening, it got pushed back a little bit. So it's kind of all timing.
And right here, just like the letter logo with the claw coming through.
Yep.
I was like, he's got me. This is already funny because I'm like, man, how long did it take the claw to actually poke through the screen?
So in the comic, the sloths are fast. So it would come through a little bit faster in this, but I wish, kind of like, they have the movies where it's like, it goes like this. Maybe if there's ever a Slowpokes movie, it'll be a slow scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly like that.
And the girls are just screaming and not moving and then dead.
Exactly. Yes. That would be great.
So we have our cast of characters here.
That's right.
Charity Simpson, London James, Karate Carlos. That gave me like, bad dreams back to the first grade.
Yeah. Was there somebody that picked on you named Karate Carlos?
No. I'm really old. So Hong Kong Phooey was like a huge cartoon when I was a kid.
Yes.
And when I was in kindergarten and first grade, I thought I knew karate because I watched Hong Kong Phooey. I was 4,
Yeah.
And then we have Hurricane, Hurricane kind of looks like me.
Okay.
The gut, the sleeveless hoodie, the beanie.
Then we were meant to meet. Maybe this was maybe you're coming after me for likeness rights now. You're like, hey, that's me, man. Can't do that.
And Eden Rare, that was probably my 7th grade science teacher that I had the hots for, who kicked me out of her class
for kung fu.
No, not even for kung fu. We were having like midterms, and she was reaching the ruler down her back, and for some reason I thought it was, and she was almost at the front of the class doing this with her back facing us, and so I thought it was a good idea to utter out the phrase, "Got an itch? Let me scratch it."
And that was
next thing I knew, I was kicked out of her class, failed science for the year because they wouldn't let me transfer to another class. I'm like,
come on.
And it was the only class I was passing at that point. So
man,
it was crazy.
That's some bad luck.
It was good and crazy. So you thought of this in a class you were taking to learn how to make comics.
So the idea actually came from I was messing around at work, hanging out with some friends, and we were talking about all the sci-fi movies that were happening at the moment. So there was, Sharknado number 4, 5, 6, whatever it is.
32, yeah.
Yep. There was a Mansquito, which is half man, half mosquito. So we were talking about movies like that, and I was like, you know what? What are they going to do next? Sloths that become fast and kill everybody? And I was like, that'd be a good idea, I think, for something. And then when the comic class came, I was like, I got to use it for this. I think this is the perfect medium for Slowpokes.
And at first, I thought it was. In this picture, I thought it was the cars on the Ferris wheel, but it's actually like somebody's eyes.
That is correct.
On the end of the claws. So I'm like, and it's like evil Ewoks or something.
Yeah, I mean, sloths, if you look at them, they're very scary looking. Like, even though they're slow and they look cute sometimes, they have like these sharp claws, and they just always look like they're up to something. So I always thought with slots is like, you know what? I think this is perfect for horror, for the horror genre.
Oh yeah, and then we look at this panel. Of course, there's a girl screaming, probably on her Instagram, taking a selfie with blood all over her, and then she's getting attacked and screaming, but not really moving. It's like all dismemberment all through the ear ducts.
That's right.
Like,
all the slots.
Karate Carl. I know karate, and then the stench from.
That's right. Some armpit stench. I mean, listen, if you're doing karate moves, you're gonna work up a sweat.
And it's like, oh, Karate Carlos, the fat kid in every dojo ever, and
that's right.
And he's at the age where like Gabriel Iglesias used to make fun of his son because he would put like 3,200 like sticks of deodorant all around the house. His kid would walk by all of them and not use any of them.
I love Gabriel Iglesias. Fluffy is pretty good.
Oh yeah, we named one of the. I nicknamed one of the.
Fluffy could probably play Karate Carlos.
Oh yeah, and it would be funnier too.
Yeah.
It's just funny. I saw the one the other day where he's doing his behind the scenes for Magic Mike.
Oh, he's the DJ, right? In Magic Mike?
Yeah, that you can't see. Ooh, Slowpoke shirts.
That's right. So Slowpoke shirts were designed by a great artist named Vertebrae 33, and he made the shirt for us, and he made the poster. So if you scroll down, very shining like poster.
Vertebrae 33, like that's his real name.
That is his real. Legally, that's his real name. That's what he tells me.
Well, he had it posted, so that's at least where he likes to be contacted on the interwebs.
Exactly. And then that is the theme song written by Blake Rains and me. If you want to play a little bit, you can. But we got in the studio and we made a banger of a track. If you want to take a look and listen to it, it sounds very 80s Michael Jackson / poppy type of music, and to go along with the comic.
Is someone there in the dark? Oh, you're getting scared. Don't want to be alone.
Well, somebody's a good Michael Jackson impersonator.
Good friend of mine, very good singer. Very talented kid. We wrote the song together. He wrote most of the lyrics. I wrote some of the hook, and it is a great experience to add to your Slowpokes comic.
That is pretty damn cool.
Thank you.
And you can follow Steve on Instagram and Twitter at
That's
the
it.
Steve.
Urena. Yes, you got it.
At Steve Urena, and Slowpokes has its own at Slowpokes Comic.
That's right.
So this is cool because this is your very first comic that you've ever written,
Yes.
and you completely funded and bypassed within 48 hours.
Yes, I got really lucky. I've been getting orders from different countries too, which is absolutely nuts. We got one from Malaysia, Croatia, Australia, Germany, Canada, just to name a few. So it is all the money that's being funded is going to be going towards future comic projects. So there will be a Slowpokes 2, hopefully by next year.
So do you think on the Slowpokes too that you might go up into stretch goals?
Yes. So since this is my first Kickstarter, I did look at
you kept it simple, understandably.
Yeah, kept it simple. And then I think for the next one, I will definitely be looking into more stretch goals and some more fun stuff that can be purchased. So if you look at the tiers, we got T-shirts, we got the song, we have a podcast where I'm going to talk about behind the scenes of Slowpokes, where the ideas came from, from panel to panel, until our highest one, which is you can get killed by Slowpokes in Slowpokes 2, and there's one more left of those. That is our highest tier.
You can get killed by the slowest creature on the planet, even though they're faster in the book.
Yes.
Are we talking faster as in they're just like a normal speed now? Or are we talking like, World War Z fast?
I would say probably World War Z fast, where they're gonna fuck if they're coming after you, you might want to hide.
That's funny, because they went from not moving at all to now they're all embedded with the Speed Force and they can move faster than hell. See, now I'm scared of sloths. Thank you very much.
Well, they just need the Jay Garrick helmets, right? If they're gonna have the Speed Force.
That would be funny. Yeah. You just have one of them like go, kill like a Mercury messenger, and the helmet's just like stuck on his claws.
Well, if DC wants to do business with me, I will gladly do the Flash versus Slowpokes. I think they would be formidable opponents for the Flash, for all the Flashes that are there.
Those two companies don't want to share anything with anyone.
Or the TV show with what's his name, Grant? I think Grant Justin or whatever his name is.
Oh, Grant Gustafson.
Yes.
So as we can see, you are a huge fan of indie comics because you have backed 33 projects.
Yeah. So I've been I was a fan of comics growing up, and then when I started going back to class, I kind of fell out of comics, like learning what was going on in comics world. And in Kickstarter, there's so many great projects out there that you're like, I need to see what this is. I need to fund it, and I just want to give back. Because if a lot of people are giving me money for comics, I want to be able to do the same for other people and other creators who are doing this for the first time.
Yeah, I've noticed. The one thing I have noticed is, I think half like the top end project out there get funded by other creators on Kickstarter that are just scrolling Kickstarter like the rest of us do Instagram. And
yes.
They're just like,
that to me has been the craziest thing. I've had people reach out to me.
Interesting. And one of the coolest things that I've seen, and I've seen it on a bunch of people's platforms, is that they get together with other creators,
mm-hmm.
and one of their big stretch goals is to unlock a digital bundle.
Wow.
And the digital bundle will be like digital number ones or whatever number from various other indie creators. So they get to it's like a sampler.
That's awesome.
Other people. So I saw it just the other day on KS's on Steve Cox. He's from down under, from Australia.
Okay.
And he's got a book called Transhuman. It's kind of like Cyborg, but a lot different. And it's a nice big fat graphic novel. It was successful on Kickstarter, and now he's running the Indiegogo on it.
That's awesome. I mean, I love all these projects, and it's cool that people who with imagination, like, because I've seen superhero comics, and there's a lot of great ones out there, but I'm glad with Kickstarter that they're giving the opportunity for different stories that you may not see normally, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, because a good majority of the comic book companies out there including the big two, which are the real sloths of the entertainment industry. I can throw shade at them like they watch my fucking podcast.
Well, here's the thing with Slowpokes. If I brought that to Marvel or DC, I don't think any of them would. I don't know if any of them would want to publish it. But
the only chance you would have is if Squirrel Girl got to fight the sloth and be fun. That would pretty much be it. That would
probably be it. Yeah, that is correct. I mean, the Squirrel Girl would be a good adversary for the Slowpokes as well.
I'd rather see the Slowpokes kill Squirrel Girl.
Oh, maybe if they want to work together, I'll do that. I'll pitch that. Like, listen, we're gonna kill off one of your most beloved characters, and Sloths are gonna rip her eyes out.
You can't do that. That's sexist. No, it's not.
They're sloths.
Watch a horror movie, would you?
Yeah. So are you a big fan of horror movies?
Gotta say, Halloween's my favorite.
Very good.
Only the Michael Myers Halloweens.
Yes. I'm waiting for Halloween Returns. It sucks that it got pushed back because of COVID.
Mm. I've been watching a bunch of them because they're all free to watch. So I'm like, I sat down the other night and I didn't get any sleep because every time I fell asleep, even at 50, I'm having friggin' nightmares.
How about Michael Myers coming to get you?
No, not even. I got rid of all my streaming services, but obviously have internet.
Yes.
So I've got a Roku TV. I got a little Roku TV, and so I got Pluto TV. So I've seen every James Bond movie under the sun this month.
Awesome.
And I have Tubi because they get some cool movies. They got some cool movies and like old cartoons and Saturday morning serials and stuff on there.
Yeah, I saw they had Transformers are on there, right? All the Transformers, the original ones.
Yeah, they get G1. I'm like, that's the only one worth watching. What the hell? But they have like a slew, and I do mean a slew, between them and Vudu, the free movies to watch on Vudu.
Yeah.
They all have commercials, but I don't care. That gives me a chance to go up, hit the bathroom, get a drink of water. But they're like really bad horror movies, like all the B horror movies. And I'm like, oh man, these are great. These are great. I love these. They're so terrible. They're good.
I love bad horror movies. There's one you should check out. It's called Deathbed, and it's about a bed that kills you.
Maybe that's what happened to me when I died in the hospital.
Maybe it was a deathbed. But
3 times.
Oh man. Well, you're surviving. You're doing well.
Yeah, I was stubborn. I was like, I gotta go pick up my comics.
You would probably be hard to defeat for the Slowpokes, huh?
Yeah. I died on the operating table when I got rushed in, and then I coded 3 times in the ICU, and they did like multiple. I had like over a dozen surgeries done to me, and when I finally came out of the coma, 2 days after they told friends and family to, you should prepare for the worst. We expect him to pass in like the next couple of weeks.
And then
2 days later, I woke up. I was groggy. They had me on a double They had not insulin. They had me on a double morphine drip.
Wow.
Because I had 3 scars that were like an inch wide, like a quarter inch deep, 18 inches long, on the left and right side of my right leg and the back side of my right leg.
I think that should be your nickname, William Hard to Kill. Hard to Kill is pretty good. HTK.
Yeah, but I don't want to,
You don't want to tempt them either.
I don't want to tempt anybody with a sniper rifle.
So this might be an odd story, but so my grandmother, small Puerto Rican lady, she used to crash funerals. right? So she used to crash funerals because they would have really good food, and she would be able to like socialize. And my mom would tell my grandma, like, you shouldn't do that. Like, don't do that. That's not a good idea. And then one day she went to crash a funeral, and she went the wrong way, and she ended up in the embalming room, and she said one of the bodies stood up, and that was the end of it. She never crashed a funeral ever again.
I'm having flashbacks to the end of wedding
crashes.
crashes.
Yeah.
They go,
My grandma was the original funeral crasher.
let's go to the funerals. So this book has turned out pretty good. Now, let me fix that and go boink. So you can pledge without a reward for $10 just to support the campaign.
That's right.
And I have to tell you this story because I tell this story to everybody, whether it's indie people or pros that have been in the business for years and years and worked at like major companies. About 6 months ago, Graham Nolan was getting ready to launch his Kickstarter, the Canoe, and somehow he was able to change where it says "pledge without a reward" to buy Graham a beer, $10.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, ever since I wanted to start a Kickstarter, just to buy me beer and just only have this pledge without a reward. Buy Will a beer, $10.
That's not a bad idea at all. That's pretty good.
Yeah, because not for nothing, I'm poor, and so I've gone from my go-to beer to drink would be Guinness, but
nice.
since I'm poor and broke again, I have to go back to those cheap like
Natty Ice, like something like that.
Exactly. I couldn't think of the name, Natty Ice. And what sucks is the closest liquor store to me knows it's the only liquor store in the area. So like they have prices like, they're in the good part of town, but they're not.
They're gouging you. Yeah.
Yeah. But the one like another 15 minutes up the street by a friend of mine, this little hole in the wall, he can hit that and get me a 30-pack of Natty Ice for $10.
Can't beat that. I remember those from college. That was the beer that we all drank.
Oh, yeah. That or you go to the college bars and whatever's on tap on special that night.
Yes.
So you can support the campaign for $10 without a reward just because. You can even... If you're broke like me, you can even just send $1 to support his efforts for the fact that his first Kickstarter campaign and his first comic ever is successful. $3 or more, you can get the digital edition of Slowpokes.
That's right.
$4 or more, the Slowpokes Slash edition.
Slash hit, so you get the
Slash hit. I'm sorry.
No worries.
So $4, they'll send you the MP3 of the horror tune for.
That's right. Some horror tunes. Better than Monster Mash.
$5 or more, you will get Slowpokes plus the extra story digital.
So you will get an extra story that I wrote with Comics Experience. It's 5 pages. It's called Positive Negative, and it is about a supervillain that finally gets rid of the hero, and it's basically what happens after that.
Oh, cool. $6 or more, you get the Slowpokes print edition. Wow, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah, I think it's tough in this comic world. Like whenever I see things, it's like things are really pricey and really expensive for comics. And I remember being a kid, and I'd pay $1, $2 for it. So, I think $6 is reasonable for 2 stories. So I wanted to make sure that nobody's breaking their leg over buying Slowpokes.
You can pledge $7 and get Slothcast, the behind the scenes, plus the digital. And that is the podcast you were going to do.
Yes. So the podcast, you would get a digital version of Slowpokes and the podcast with it.
And that's like a pre-recorded podcast. You just send them the MP4.
Yes. So I'm going to go and go through the Slowpokes and tell behind the scenes stories and like where things come from, like where the names came from, where the ideas came from. Anything that has a story to it, I will be telling it.
Slowpoke's first print signature edition. So you're gonna sign 100 books.
Yes.
And $10, you get the book and you get it signed, which is a deal. Because now everybody wants all the big names. They don't want except for a few. Jim Ballant doesn't charge to sign anything still. Unless you order it off his website, then he charges you to sign it.
Well, for me, this is my first time doing this. Nobody's ever asked me for my autograph before, and for a lot of people to want it is very crazy to me.
And now 84 people want your signature.
I know it's nuts. Like I have to work on a signature too, which is even crazier.
You're all gonna go start bank accounts under your name.
I know. I got to make sure I do. I maybe have to draw a sloth in my name or something like that. But I have to do something a little different so I don't get robbed. Or maybe 84 people want to rob me. We'll see.
I doubt it. I think they just want to read the book and they want it signed, just in case you make it big. Because it's like, this is an insane idea. He could be the next Kirkman. So $25 pledge, you get all of the above in a special edition Slowpokes t-shirt.
That's right. And that t-shirt right there where the sloth looks like it's coming out of your heart, that is a shirt you would get.
That's a pretty cool looking shirt. I like the design.
Yeah, Vertebrate 33 does a great job. He just did some stuff with Hot Topic for Rick and Morty and Star Wars The Mandalorian.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was lucky to grab him before he's going to make it even bigger now.
Yeah, he's getting actually paid now, so you better get one of these t-shirts now, because I don't think Vertebrate 33 is returning next time. I
know, he's going to be too big. He's going to be too big to do a shirt for me.
So now I got to ask you, what size of the shirts come in?
So once the Kickstarter's over, I'll be taking orders, and I will go as high as I need to go in terms of sizes to make sure everybody gets what they need. So if you're small, you get a small. If you're medium, you get a medium. If you're double XL, triple XL, whatever, I'm going to put the order in and make sure that you get a shirt that is your size.
Oh, cool. Most everybody does it like Teespring, and they're like, you can get it any size you want. I go, dude, do you realize how fat I am?
Well, I want to just make sure everybody is, because that sucks when you're getting a shirt and you're like, oh, it's a medium, and then it's really small, or it's a large and it's not, it doesn't fit well. I want to make sure that everybody gets what they ordered, and they wear it out in public. Because if I got a shirt that was too small for me, I would never wear Slowpokes ever again. I would be like, he screwed me over, and I don't want to screw anybody over.
Well, like a 3X won't fit me because I'm in a 6X.
Okay.
But I would wear it out as a crop top just to offend.
There you go. If you listen, I'll take any promotion I can get. So, if it brings eyes to you, I'll get you one of those. But I'll see if I can get up to 6XL.
$35 gets you the Slowpokes poster and the tee. So for another $10, you can get this shining homage poster. See, I'm gonna just put the word homage on it, and people are like, homage where? And you've already had 32 people grab these. 32 people on your first book.
Yeah,
have jumped on and made sure they got the poster, the t-shirt, the book, the podcast, the digital copy.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I'm very thankful to anybody who pledged, whether it's pledged $3 or the high ticket item $152. I'm very thankful, very, very, very grateful for everything.
Okay, now this is blowing my mind because I've seen a lot of books where people have the option to get killed in them, but they usually only offer like maybe 3 to 5 of them.
Yep.
I know Graham did it, and but Graham's a big name, so of course he charges more because it's it's a lot of extra work considering he probably had the layouts all done for the book before he launched the first Kickstarter. So, and these are all to be done in the next issue, right?
That's correct.
So you offered 15 people to get killed by a sloth.
That's right.
You've only got 1 left.
So at first I put that as like, I was like, oh, I'm just messing around. I'm sure somebody will get it, but I didn't think it was going to be 15. And then my friends started quickly grabbing them, and I was like, oh, that's crazy. And then after that, more people that I didn't know started grabbing them, and I was like, all right, we're off to the races. So I will kill the hell out of you in the next Slowpokes. My father actually got one. He didn't know what he was getting, and I told him I can't wait to kill you. And he was.
So if nobody grabs the last one, are you going to put your girlfriend in?
Yeah, I've already.
I heard her laugh.
That's her laughing at it. She's already. I may name the sloth after her. We'll see, or our character at some point. But all my characters are based off, like the names anyway, are based off of real people. So like London James are 2 of my best friends' names combined. Karate Carlos was somebody we went to high school with that we called Karate Carlos. I don't know the kid Karate Carlos, but he was the kid that was very big in karate, and he would big on anime, and everybody just called him Karate Carlos. And I was like, that's a great name for somebody. Hurricane, same thing. There was a kid who just referred to himself as the Hurricane, like he was the Rock. And he would be like, the Hurricane's going to score, the Hurricane's going to do this. So I was like, I have to put this in the book. It's worth it.
One of those third-party people.
Yes, like the Rock, like Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Yeah, so it's just I will probably put her in something at some point. You just have to play her cards right. And she laughs at me right here and gives me the finger.
You're going to get suffocated tonight with one of those.
Probably with one of the slots. This is going to end up in my. I'm going to choke on this, probably.
That's just crazy, though. That is just insane.
Yeah, so for the next Slowpokes, I'm hoping to make it a little bit longer. This one is only 20 pages. The next one, I'm hoping maybe I gotta look into it, but so there's plenty of room for 15 kills.
Oh yeah, well you can just add a few extra pages too.
That's right.
You're just gonna make sure it's an even number of pages, so it.
Yes, just so it works out. Yeah, for the printing.
But I mean, that's great.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate you having me on. It's really awesome to talk about this with somebody who has a great sense of humor. Because some people, I'm sure, looking at the Kickstarter, goes, "What is this? What the hell is this?"
How are sloths gonna kill people?
Exactly, but that's the fun part. That's what you got to find out.
How are sloths gonna kill people? Is it a really long book? And will it be full of lots of words? Because I don't like lots of words.
If you play the video, it'll give you a little taste of what Slowpokes is all about.
Yeah, I think I watched it. Let me see. Oh, we'll do it like this. Widescreen. Now, the only thing I want to say, and I tell this to a lot of people on their trailers, and the trailer was like excellently done. The only thing missing is the narration of all the words you put in.
Yes. So my friend who made this trailer, her name is Kristen Greco. She works for Nickelodeon. So I probably should have done the voiceover myself. But I didn't even think of that. That is absolutely right. Well, the next one I will make sure to put on my good movie trailer voice from the twisted mind of Steve Urena. Come some sloths that are gonna get you.
You know, I tell it to a lot of people. One, because lots of podcasts are just podcasts. They're not like live video. Mm-hmm. So you're already getting hit with the fact that people can't see anything that we're talking about on the screen.
That's true.
And when you plug the trailer, if it's just like, you know, a minute to a minute and a half, and all you hear is the music.
Yeah, you're not going to understand what's going on. You're absolutely right. I didn't even think about that. Thank you for that.
And I should have done that. I'm being more and more mindful of that because I was sought out and asked to join another podcast network. Mm-hmm. So every one of these I have to download, and I just got my a good friend of mine, Andrew Lavolo, who's an artist and a comic creator, and a lover of everything action figures.
Awesome.
No matter how much he bitches at Hasbro. Not as much as I bitch at Hasbro, but I'm like $30 for an act. Look at the articulation.
That's too much.
Look, if it's not one of those Asian sex dolls, I don't give a flying fuck about the articulation. Because guess what? I'm not going to open the package. Because I know if I damage the package, it's not worth anything.
That's money thrown down the drain. Yeah,
you know,
it's crazy.
I can display them with a Swiffer duster, and you know, I'm good.
I mean, back when I was a kid, like action figures were $5, $5 to $7, mm-hmm. And now seeing everything is like $60, $40. That's ridiculous. Kids don't have that type of money. Oh, the adults don't have that type of money.
$5, you don't look that old.
I am 31. I'm getting there.
Oh, okay. I was already making bad alcoholic choices before you were born. So,
as long as you're using those natty ices, then we're good.
What was the only thing I found out? The only thing I can't drink is 151.
Damn.
I mean, I drink stuff that I
found out the hard way.
Yeah. Oh, I'll drink stuff that I don't even like. I spent 35 years as a DJ in the adult club industry. And one place I worked for quite a while, we used to get drunk every night.
Very good.
Because the managers would leave, we'd start drinking. And the bartenders were allowed to have customers buy them drinks.
That's awesome. And if you're playing good tunes, then I'm sure you got loaded on those.
And the smart bartenders would have them buy the small mini $15 a Moe, and they would just take them home.
Damn, that's good.
A couple of the bartenders would have them buy them double shots of like Henny or something, and I don't like Henny. I like Henny and the Incredible Hulk drinks, but I don't. Other than that, one, it's probably because of the name, and I'm a comic book nerd, and two, because it ends up tasting like good and fruity. So,
yeah.
You know, but so she would get in so much trouble because it was like a live camera feed, security-wise, not only downstairs to a manager's office, but that would also be live fed across town to the owner's office.
Oh.
And every once in a while, the phone would ring. Tell her to go home. She's fired. No more drinking behind the bar for anybody.
Ruined it for everyone.
Boom, boom, boom. And she would be put on probation for about a month or so.
And then it'd be over.
When she got off shift, she couldn't have a drink. She had to just leave. So just to bust her chops, especially when she was the only bartender on, even if I wasn't working, I go up to the bar, I go, yeah, can I get a double of Henny?
Just to rub it in.
Gonna fucking kill you. Luckily, she has moved far away, but
so she won't kill you now. Now he won't be hard to kill anymore.
She's threatened to come back for like a reunion next year or something. But
yeah.
Either case. But this has turned out great for you. You took a story that you did for a class that got good reviews from the class, and you turned it into your first successful Kickstarter with a goal of 2,000, and you're like $2 away from 7,100.
Yep, pretty crazy. I never thought I'd be in this place at all. Like, I thought maybe some people would want to buy it. I thought my friends would just buy it, and that would be that. But it's nuts, and I'm very grateful, and it's awesome because I get to talk to people about comics, because I don't really get to talk about comics as much in my daily life. So it's very nice to do that.
Well, not with a girlfriend, no.
Well, she'll talk about it too.
You found a girl that likes comics?
She'll tolerate it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
But she likes the Avengers. She likes all that stuff. We did go see the premiere of that, which was pretty good.
All the movies. I like all the movies and the TV shows.
Yeah,
because I was a little kid in the '70s, so we had reruns of Adam West Batman, which made me late to school every day for middle school because that would come on, and then the original Scooby-Doo would come on, and I wouldn't want to leave, especially if it was one of the Scooby-Doo movies.
That's awesome.
I would show up late, like an hour late, every time they put Batman, and then they would put the Batman as the special guest in the Scooby-Doo movie. I just wouldn't leave.
Got to watch that. I actually, so growing up as a big Spider-Man fan, and when Spider-Man 3 came out, I was like, oh, I'm cutting school to go see this, to pirate it, basically. And I was watching it, and I was like, this is terrible. I was like, maybe because I pirated it, it's bad. Maybe I'll go see it in the theater. And I got double screwed over because that movie's just not that good. But it's just funny because I skipped school to watch it.
It's one of those, this sounds good on paper.
I don't know if it even sounds good on paper. Too many villains, too many things going on.
It sounds good on paper to Hollywood producers.
Yes, because they can make toys.
Keep in mind, Hollywood producers also wanted to cast Nick Cage as Superman, and instead of him flying to the Fortress of Solitude, they were going to have him walk to the Fortress of Solitude, and he was going to fight a couple of polar bears on his way.
That documentary is awesome. I would have wanted to see a Kevin Smith Superman. I think that would have been very interesting.
No.
They'll just be talking dialogue, Superman and Batman, just one camera, just talking about their powers or something obscene.
It's just like, Batman getting Superman hooked on blunts or something.
Yeah. I think there's actually a movie coming out with Andy Samberg and Craig Robinson from The Office, and they're doing a superhero that runs on weed, which is pretty funny.
I know a couple of guys. I've interviewed them a couple of times, and they just lost their final lawsuit to AMC. Their original title of their books and merch was The Talking Dead. So
that's it. That was.
You wouldn't think that a couple of potheads making a comic book and a novel and like selling
That's amazing. That's
would
amazing.
come on the radar of Robert Kirkman in AMC.
Now, was it too close to Walking Dead or too close to Talking Dead? Or did they just not want anybody to use any blanking dead?
It was too close to Walking Dead.
Okay. That's hilarious, though. The toking. The toking.
So now it's
I would wear that shirt.
now it's toking with the dead. Now they are also making one of those wonderful B movies about their
property. That's awesome.
and they're doing it in your neck of the woods.
Oh yeah, in Connecticut. Awesome. Well, what town?
I don't know what town they're doing it with. Bill Diamond Productions.
Okay.
So I mean,
that's cool. The dreams come true. You get sued by Robert Kirkman for Token Dead.
Guess what, Robert? We changed it to Toking with the Dead, and screw you. We're making a movie.
but that's such a little change, though. Like I thought they would have to change the whole title. Like Toking with the Dead is not that much different than the Toking Dead, but I guess maybe because it's I don't know. I'm not a copyright lawyer or anything like that. I just think that's very petty.
Yeah, what it was is they changed it enough so that they couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Is what it was. It's like, and they've still got some merch and some original issues with the original.
From the, those are probably going to be more valuable in the future too, especially if this movie hits.
But the first issue they did on Kickstarter.
Nice.
And they released it as a. They did it in the style like the old Golden Age comics.
That's awesome.
I'm like, that's cool. I've got the first issue. I've got the digital copy of the first issue, so I read it and reviewed it and everything.
Cool.
But I still have to buy that one. I think they're holding one for me with the original logo on it.
Awesome.
I'm like, yeah, I want you guys to sign it. That way I can frame it and put it up behind me.
And then a picture of Robert Kirkman next to it.
I'll Photoshop a picture of me flipping Robert Kirkman the bird.
There you go. Perfect.
And I'll have a framed Obsidian order #1 from Kirkman up on the wall too.
Awesome. Very cool. But that's what's cool about the Kickstarters is that you can get comics like that.
Oh yeah, you can pretty much do anything you want.
Yeah.
And even though there's like lots of books come out with like variant covers,
mm-hmm.
The variant covers aren't like these comic dealers that call themselves stores or I'm gonna rant.
Go for it. It's your show, man. I'm just here.
You're just hanging out.
That's right.
And like, keep the camera on me so my girlfriend doesn't suffocate me with the other.
the other sloth. Yes.
The other sloth. Their exclusive covers. And you go, ooh, limited print. And so now people are just collecting covers. They're just collecting a cover image.
Yeah. Instead of the book.
And you've got, they're like, well, I buy these and then I buy the digital reader. Are you out of your fucking mind? You just spent $200 because most of them buy them. You got the group that buys them already slabbed.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the newer cons on it. One of the newer cons on these is you can buy the set for $69.99, or you can buy the guaranteed 9.8 set for $114.
Yeah, that's it's crazy with collectibles and things, like how people try to rip people off. It's awful.
Blackmail me for comics. I think you just blackmail me for comics to have them so you don't like trash them, put them in the box.
Yeah, it's definitely tough out there. I know my friend is big on I know a big thing right now is those basketball cards too, and people are going crazy, like waiting outside of Walmart and things like that, and kind of fighting people for these cards because they'll do the limited edition, like, oh, there's only one that they made, and stuff like that. But it's crazy. They need to. I wish they would regulate this stuff more, or like figure out a way to not rip people off.
Well, yeah, like because I haven't seen Entertainment Earth do it. I don't think. I've seen Big Bad Toy Store. Yeah, I'm throwing shade. So what? If you order something in shipping, if you just want regular shipping, it's one price. But if you want the collector's level shipping, where they actually take care packing your crap, it's like an extra like $5 or $10 or something.
Damn.
It's like we can just throw it across the room and hope it gets inside the box, and then we'll ship it to you. Or we can actually
pack it up
and throw a little bubble wrap around it, put it in the box, and send it to you, and it'll get to you one piece. But we want another $5 for that. I'm like,
yeah, it's a racket out there. There's always going to be people that feast on good people.
Yeah, and they got everybody by the short hairs because there's no actual toy stores in existence anymore.
Yeah, that's true. It's like Breaking Bad, kind of like Breaking Bad, but for collectibles, which I think would be a fun concept.
It's like Toys R Us went out of business because they refused to bring everything into the modern era.
Yeah.
And other stores, instead of like Walmart and Target, instead of bringing it into the modern era, they're like, well, we can make millions if we just lease space on our website to anybody that wants it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can go online and show up at Target, but a lot of times you don't know whether you're getting it from Target or someplace else. Same thing with Walmart.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you need to make that more clear.
Yeah, because I grew up playing with the old Mego figures in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And Mego's back, so now I want the Mego figures again.
Yes.
And only at Target, but you couldn't find them at Target because Target was supposed to put them out on an end cap, and then they didn't want to put them out on an end cap anymore because somebody else paid them more. And then they didn't want to work them into an aisle, so they just wouldn't put them out. And that whole contract went aside, and then they started putting them at other stores. But, what stores are left? Kmart's gone.
Yeah. Retail is definitely suffering, especially during this time, too.
Oh, yeah. So, they sent them to Walmart. And Walmart doesn't put them in the toy aisle; they put them in the computer aisle, which for those that don't know is the pop aisle. They put it right next to electronics. So they put it in there, and I went in one day, like months and months ago, probably like over 6 months ago, and they had released from Star Trek II Graphicon. They had released William Shatner, Kirk, Leonard Nimoy, Spock in the Star Trek II uniforms, the gear, and they had done a con.
Oh, with Ricardo Montalban.
Ricardo Montalban with the rip cloth, and the big giant Flavor Flav medallion around his neck, just has the Star Trek logo, or now Space Force. But I couldn't find a Spock. I went back a couple of times, but now they've made the line bigger again. They now have Next Generation, so they released a Picard and a Data, and they've already announced this. They're releasing Locutus of Borg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got to cash in on the. Yeah.
Well, I knew last November. Because I covered Rhode Island Comic Con last November for Outright Geekery.
Mm-hmm.
So I hung out and talked with Neil Adams for about 45 minutes.
That's cool.
He was setting up, before he get cranky.
Yeah.
So, I'm talking to you all this time. You're going to give us money, right? I hung out a good portion of the weekend with Graham Nolan, Bill McKay, Mike Grell, Christopher Priest that's doing Vengeance of Vampirella over at Dynamite.
Cool.
And bunch of indie guys, a bunch of illustrators that I'm friends with that I know, and I had a good time. But Migo was there, and I finally got to meet Marty Abrams, who created this whole legend from the 70s up, and got to talk to him. So I've known since then that he had done a deal with the CBS affiliates for Star Trek that he has the rights to do every single character from the original series all the way to Discovery.
Wow.
Because it was pre the release announcement of the card series. So, but they've already got all those characters in Next Generation, so they didn't need to,
Yeah, they don't need to do any more. They worked it out.
And then he worked out another deal with DC so he can do the DC 8-inch superheroes again, except they're an exclusive to a store in the middle of Minnesota. And they released.
That's something. They should do that. Yeah.
They released a special, but they're not doing like a blue and gray Batman like the classic one. Mm-hmm. It's black and it's all black. It's like, that would be tough. They don't have to do anything. It's like
that's just money in their pocket too. That's pretty good. I mean, that's a good deal.
They had a 3-pack. The Trinity for DC Comics is Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman.
Yeah.
So they had a 3-pack where they were all in together. It was supposed to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. But they went out. It was one of the things they did online.
Uh-huh.
And
probably sold out, right?
It sold out in like 90 seconds.
Damn.
And within 30 minutes, these things were on eBay for
like $600 probably. Probably, yeah.
Over $1,000. And I'm like, look, I'm sorry, these things are $15 a piece in the store.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're done as well as the old ones were.
That's where they get you. I wanted so badly. Nika makes such great figures, and I'm a huge, as a kid growing up, Ninja Turtles fan. And they made the Ninja Turtles when they were on Broadway. They did that, and that was like a limited edition. I was like, who the hell wants this? This is amazing. And it sold out. It sold out, and that was it. It's probably going for $600 now.
Oh, anything Turtles sells out. Like they did the crossover with DC with Batman Turtles.
Yes.
And they released those figures, and they released them into GameStop.
And I know they did Turtles in Time, which I love that game for Super Nintendo back in the day. It's that's just the business that it is. It sucks, but hopefully it changes or it gets better. But I don't think it is with everything. As long as they keep seeing money, it's not going to change.
It's not going to change because collectors have money. That's all they sadly, I like everything, so I'm just screwed. But there's usually if you're like a diehard comic book collector, you might buy like a couple of toys here or there, like your favorite character. You might buy like a couple of things just to put up or whatever, decorate your desk with at work.
Mm-hmm.
But that's usually like the end of it. Minus like the things that you had when you were a kid. If you still have them, you're not going to get rid of them.
Exactly.
But if you're a toy collector, that's all you do is collect toys.
Yeah, and you can't stop the habit. You got to keep going.
If you're a toy collector and you just collect toys, even if they're comic book toys, 9 out of 10 of the toy collectors have never picked up a comic book.
Yeah.
On occasion, they'll pick one up if they think the cover looks cool.
Mm-hmm. But that's it.
But they don't read them.
Yeah.
They put it in a bag and a board because it makes a cool display behind all their toys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you like these toys, but without the
comic or source material or
without the IP material that created, with all the people that worked to create all these stories over the years, you wouldn't have this. Well, then I just buy something else.
Yeah.
And now all the toy companies, especially Hasbro, they're all using Kickstarter.
Yeah. I saw and also they're using celebrities too. I saw the Keanu Reeves one too, which was going crazy.
Yeah. Keanu Reeves' Berserker book made over $1 million in 24 hours.
Yeah, that's nuts. Maybe one day I'll be there, but right now it's.
Hey, well, you pretty much, even at this point, with a week to go, I'm sure you're still gonna get more people buying.
Here's hoping.
So, well, usually what happens is like the first week or so, it'll go good, and then it'll kind of like dip into the valley, and then the end of the last week, like the last 3 to 5 days,
it goes up again because people are, yeah. I mean that's how I would do it too. Probably I'll be like, oh, it's the last week. I gotta back it before I forget.
And people will stop. Look, once this starts picking up some traction in the next couple of days, it'll stop popping up on people's feeds, or if they're in a group that you shared, a multiple group that you shared this to.
Yes.
Or if everybody that bought this shared the automatic please share me to tell your friends about this project post. You get more and more people, checking it out, and then they're going to scroll down and they're going to be like, oh, that's cool. Well, a lot of people bought that one. A lot more people bought that one. People bought that one. This one's almost sold. The signed ones were almost sold out. And they scroll and they get down to the bottom. And they're like, I can get killed in a comic book? There's only one left.
Done. Here's hoping.
Yeah. So, it's just crazy like that.
Yeah. This whole Kickstarter thing is crazy. And especially during a pandemic, people are going to need entertainment. So hopefully they'll check us out, check my stuff out, and we'll go from there. But again, thank you for having me. I really appreciate, the support, and, this is a great time being here. Appreciate it. Hopefully I get to come on again.
Yeah. Well, have you come on with the second issue? Maybe you can tell anybody that backed it that got killed, we're going to mention your name in the podcast.
Yeah. It's like, here you are right here.
So the link for the Kickstarter is right in the chat, as well as the link for our sponsor, SpinWiz Comics. Go over, check out the project for yourself, get your sloth on. There's not many left with the good stuff. The T-shirts are almost gone. The posters are almost gone. You only have one chance to get murdered by a sloth. And this is your one chance, and it's going to happen in next issue.
That's right.
Well, once again, we want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
I want to thank your girlfriend for giggling at a couple of my bad jokes during the episode. And
she loves it all. She says it's great.
Well, I got to do something.
That's right.
And unfortunately, I go, I'm going to be special. I'm going to have a podcast. Hey, stupid! It's 2020. Everybody has a podcast.
That's right. But hey, it's cool to talk comics. I'm definitely excited to come again and show Slowpokes 2 or whatever is next. I appreciate everybody listening and everybody who backed. Thank you.
And you definitely got to hit up Pops over on the Comic Book Madness there, because CromCon is going on a weekend away from now, and you can probably get in on one of the panels and get more traction for your book during the CromCon con.
Oh, I'll have to look into that. Look, that would be awesome.
Yeah, hit them up. I'll be sharing the link. I shared the link around for Slowpokes.
Cool.
It went off on my Twitter, and of course, we went live on the Outright Geekery Facebook page, which has close to 23,000 followers.
Awesome.
It also simulcast to the Outright Geekery YouTube channel, and it also simulcast to my YouTube channel, Joker Fan Pop Culture Talks.
Awesome. Well, hello, everybody watching.
It's out there, and a little later on, if not later on tonight, by tomorrow at least, I will send you a DM with one of the YouTube links. You have a permanent link for it.
Absolutely. Cool.
Everything disappears on Facebook, we know. So
cool.
So thanks everybody for watching. Go get your Slowpoke on. Hit up the Kickstarter in the chat, and we will see